welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. In case you are new here, welcome. My name is Professor OJ, a health consultant from Greenwald International. Okay. In case you are also new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment at the end of this health tutorial. Let me know what you think about today's health talk. Okay, for my returning subscribers, thank you so much, and let's keep rolling and let's keep the wheel moving. Otherwise, welcome back. Today I want to share with you about Greenwald Slimming Care Package, introduced, that is advanced, introduced to you by Greenwald International Business School. So this is what I want us to share today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. But as usual, before we start, I just a reminder of the 6 basic crucial human organs, and you find that all my trainings always circumnavigates around these trainings. So the first organ is the heart. Your heart is the most important body organ that operates with blood and also blood vessels. The second organ is the brain. That is the body's engine. That is the organ that controls the normal body function of a human being. The third organ is the liver, which is the largest human organ. The fourth organ is the kidney. The fifth organ being the lungs, and last but not least, we have the pancreas. So these are the 6 crucial important body organs that when we take into consideration, then we are likely to control so many diseases. These are the organs that mostly are attacked by cancer. These are the organs that mostly take people or make people to travel abroad for further treatment. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Greenwald Slimming Care Package. Now, before we proceed, we have to know that our globe is getting fatter than ever before. Why? Because of something called obesity. So this one is a growing global health condition, and it typically results from overeating, especially unhealthy diet with the current life situations, and also lack of enough exercise. Now, about lack of enough exercise, that's why sometimes I always remind about the 4 basic things for us to have good health. And number 1 is making sure that you have a balanced diet, eating properly or eating well. And remember, nutrients, balanced diet is what you eat. Nutrients is what your body requires. Number 2 is a lack of exercise, making sure that you always have regular exercise, very important. Number 3 is positive thinking, and number 4 is making sure that you have what is called adequate sleep. Okay, so those are the 4 things you need to do for you to have a better health. So one thing you also need to know that in our modern world, with increasing cheap, high calorie food, examples of fast foods, or also called the junk foods, you find that these foods are prepared with the high salt or sugars or fat, increasingly affecting our lifestyle. And also urbanization and changing modes for transportation also adds up to that. And no wonder you find that nowadays obesity has rapidly increased in the last few decades around the world. So obesity coexisting with undernutrition, we call globality, is taking over many parts of the world. So all countries are searching for answers about how to reverse the rising tide of adult and childhood obesity, because it is so much rampant in the world nowadays. And despite many obesity preventing strategies at both individual and state levels, the epidemics of obesity continues to rise in both developed and developing countries. So in this today's health tutorial, we are going to see the risk factors of obesity and what conditions are connected to obesity, and also give a solution to the problems or people who are suffering from obesity. So for those who are listening to this video and you want to make sure that you take good care of your body weight, then just know that this is the perfect and the best tutorial for you. So 37% of the world's population that is overweight or obese, and you find that that is 0 number of countries succeeding in decreasing obesity in the last 33 years, and 14% of overweight or obese children and adolescents worldwide because of the eating too much junks. 62% of the world's obese living in developing countries, and 3.5 million deaths caused by overweight and obesity. So we need to know how we can rectify this, because this one is a very dangerous problem. So the first one I want us to start with is how fat is fat. How fat is fat. And as you can see from your slide, there is what is called what is BMI. We have underweight, we have healthy, we have overweight, and we have obese. So BMI index, also known as body mass index, is the standard criteria for determining whether you have a healthy body weight or not. So it is a standard criteria that is used to show or to know whether you are having a healthy body weight or not, be it maybe underweight or healthy or overweight or obese. And mostly it is measured with respect to an individual's weight and height. And that's why when you come to most of our health centers, you find that we have to take your BMI. We have to measure your weight and height, because it is going to help us to know how your BMI or body mass index is actually operating. And it is totally independent of age, and the values are same for both men and women. So it is an intentional standard commonly used by healthcare professionals to screen for overweight, obese, and also obese individuals or also healthy individuals. So what we need to analyze the health impact of a person's weight on people of different heights, then BMI value or body mass value is a neutral and reliable index. And as you can see, this is the formula for measuring what is called the BMI. Uh, yeah, this is the formula for measuring the BMI, as you can see from your screen. Yeah, right there, as you can see from your screen. So e.g., for example, if a person is, let's say, 1.75 meters, now wrapped 175 centimeters high, and the weight of this person is 68 kgs. So how we are going to calculate his BMI is, we are going to take the weight and then we divide by the height. So once we do that, we are going to get what is called the BMI of this person. And once we get the BMI of this person, so we are going to link it with these ones. So these ones are the risk of associated disease according to BMI and weight size. So we have underweight, we have normal, we have overweight, we have obese, we have clinically obese, and we have morbidly obese. So if your BMI is 18.5 or less, then you are underweight. If you are 18.5 to 24.9, you are normal. And if you are 25 to 29, you are overweight. If you are 30 to 34, you are obese. If you are 35 to 39, you are obese. And if you are 40 or greater, then you are extremely obese. Okay, so that one also measures about the waist in both male and female. So knowing and identifying these conditions are very much important, okay, for you to make sure that your body operates normally and operates well. So that is how we calculate the BMI. Now, what are the risk factors of having obesity? So obesity related diseases, we have sleep apnea. So we are going to see sleep apnea. Wale watu ambao wakilala wanang'orota, especially unapata watu ambao wako na mwili kubwa ndo wanakuwa sana na hii shida. Then tuko na high blood glucose and type 2 diabetes. I've already organized a tutorial about diabetes and I already uploaded it. So go to my YouTube channel and you'll see it. I've talked about the pancreas and also the organs which are associated with someone having diabetes. We also have high blood sugar, okay? That is high blood pressure. Then we also have heart disease and stroke. Then high blood lipid and fatty liver, and last but not least, osteoarthritis and gout. So all these are conditions which are associated by people who are obese. So let's start with the first one. Call it the sleep apnea. Obesity and sleep apnea. So during sleep, gravity and muscle relaxation allows the tongue and surrounding soft tissues to fall back into the throat area, obstructing airflow for people who are obese. So we find that obese men with a neck circumference of around 17 inches or greater and women with a neck circumference of 16 inches or greater are more likely to have what is called the sleep apnea, okay? Then OSA means obesity and sleep apnea, okay? So OSA induces oxygen deficit and high blood viscosity, so therefore greatly increases the risk of heart diseases and stroke. So now I want us to do something very simple. Now, brief pauses in breathing during sleep are normal. But now, when the breathing stops often and for longer periods, then this one is called sleep apnea. Okay, that is how you need to understand how the sleep apnea operates. So now, for example, when someone has a sleep apnea, then oxygen levels in the body may fall and sleep can always be disrupted. This person atakuwa kuna ile tunaita usingizi wa mangamungamu. Okay, so sleep apnea happens when a person stops breathing during sleep. That is how sleep apnea operates. So it is usually caused by something obstructing, or to obstruct is like kind of blocking, okay? The what is called the upper airway. So when someone comes for our checkup, when we're checking the lungs, we always check what is called arterial, that is the airway resistance, okay? The airway resistance. So this is what is known as the obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, obstructive sleep apnea. Now, obstructive sleep apnea is much more common in obese individuals, and you'll find that it is believed that the airway of the obese individual become obstructed by large tonsils and also enlarged tongue and also increased fat in the neck. So all pressing on the airway when the pharyngeal or the throat muscles are relaxed with sleep. So this one makes a person's neck circumference is a good predictor of sleep apnea. Now, obese men with a neck circumference of around 17 inches or greater and women with a neck circumference of 16 inches or greater are more likely to have sleep apnea because that one affects the airway resistance, okay? And sometimes you find that this sleep apnea may cause daytime sleepiness because this person has not has not slept well at night. So during the day, he will always be dizzy. And that's why you find that in a meeting that takes more than 1 hour, you find that people who are obese are likely to sleep and snore. Now, which this one does not allow, lowers the productivity and sometimes puts some individuals' life in danger once falling asleep, sometimes while driving. Okay, so those are the effects of having the obesity. Now, sometimes you find that individuals with such disorders often complain of morning headaches because they didn't have enough sleep, and also there was insufficient supply of oxygenated blood to the brain. Then they always have constant fatigue, mtu analala usiku, anaamka asubuhi kama amechoka. Then you also have moodiness and sometimes they can even fall asleep almost anywhere. Ni kulala tu kila wakati. Okay? So the OSA, or obstructive sleep apnea, induces oxygen deficit and high blood viscosity, therefore greatly increasing the risk of heart diseases and stroke. So this is just to let you know that when you are having when you are obese, that is, when you are having kgs which are not normal, then you are likely to have what is called OSA, that is obstructive sleep apnea, which is very dangerous to your health. Now, the next thing I want us to share is about obesity and type 2 diabetes, okay? So when you are obese, then that means overexertion insulin production, and that is pancreas fatigue, because your pancreas now is exhausted in a choker. So the pancreas can no longer produce the needed insulin. And sometimes you find that this insulin can also be resisted in your body, okay? So studies suggest that abdominal fat causes fat cells to release what is called pro-inflammatory chemicals. Now, these chemicals can make the body to be less sensitive to this insulin production, okay? And this one might disrupt the function of insulin responsible cells and the ability to respond to insulin. So this is known as insulin resistance. So watu ambao wako na ugonjwa wa sukari pia wako likely kupatwa na ugonjwa wa sukari kwa sababu inafanya pancreas haiwezi kuproduce insulin, ama ikiproduce insulin inafanya insulin inakosa kufanya kazi vile inahitajika. So the hallmark of type 2 diabetes, having excess abdominal fat, i.e. large waistline, unakuwa na kiuno ambayo ni kubwa. So this one is known as central or abdominal obesity, okay? And it's a particular high risk from form of obesity because ni watu ambao ni wanene, so unapata umekuwa na tumbo mingi hapo kadhaa, okay? So obesity is also likely connected to what is called high blood glucose and type 2 diabetes. So kuwa na mwili mkubwa inaweza fanya ukakuwa na ugonjwa wa sukari. Now next, obesity also affects what is called the liver, having a fatty liver. And by the way, wakati mtu ako na kitambi, tumbo huwa haifuri, ile organ yenye huwa inafura huwa ni maini. Remember, I talked about the 6 crucial important organs, and liver was number 3 after the heart, the brain, then liver was the next one. So you see, obesity is also connected to the liver. Okay, now being obese will put you at a risk of high cholesterol levels, because you'll be having a lot of fat connected, attached to the walls of the arteries. And it is not just high cholesterol alone, because that's the problem. It's the specific changes in your cholesterol panel. So meaning you'll be having a series of disturbance of breaking down the different types of cholesterol and other blood fats in obesity, things like triglyceride or LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, into being the good one, that is the HDL. Okay, so LDL is the bad cholesterol, then HDL is the good cholesterol. LDL means low density lipoprotein, and HDL means high density lipoprotein. Okay, so in cases of metabolic syndrome, you find that though this process gets overtaxed, so that means there's too much sugar trying to get into the storage at once, and so it backs up in the liver. So this means it's sort of a like of what is called the bottleneck, normally kifuniko ya chupa, that is ile neck, ile shingo ya chupa. So low density lipoprotein is trying to shuttle the triglycerides out to the peripheral tissues to get stored as a fat. So, but it just can't keep up. So some of those triglycerides get stuck in the liver, leading to literally a fatty liver. So too much fat in liver cells result in what is called hepatic steatosis, a condition of inflammation of the liver. So over time, you find that it can progress into liver cirrhosis or a severe condition with fatal complications, liver failure, or even death. So having being obesity is very dangerous for your health, because it can lead to those conditions. Now, obesity and heart diseases. Obesity is also connected to your heart. And how? Because you find that when you're having the higher body mass index, then it means it is found to be responsible for around 30% of the prevalence of high blood pressure. Okay, so your pressure becomes high because of excess fat which is built along the walls of the arteries, and also excess fat which mostly attacks the heart or covers the heart. So in addition, you find that obese people are 2.4 times more likely to have high diastolic blood pressure compared with non-overweight people. So watu ambao kuna shida moyo wanakuwa na high diastolic pressure ambayo inakuwa juu sana. Now, for example, in 1997, there is an American Heart Association acknowledged that obesity was an independent modifiable cardiovascular risk factor. And you find that studies suggest that patients with BMIs greater than 30 have significantly shorter lifespans than those who are not affected by obesity. So ukiwa kuna mwili mkubwa, then you are likely to depopulate the earth. Okay, so excess weight, especially central or abdominal obesity, significantly increases the risk of heart related diseases. So you need to know that when you are obese, you are putting your heart at a high risk. Okay, now obesity and osteoarthritis and also gout. Osteoarthritis and also gout. If you can see from the picture here, we have a normal joint. This is somebody with just a normal BMI or a healthy BMI, and this one is joint with increased pressure due to obesity. So mwili uko juu inakuwa mzito kuliko mguu yako, so inamaanisha mguu yako haiwezi kusustain uzito wa mwili yako, so ina exert a lot of pressure kwa mifupa, so you are likely kupata matatizo ya nini? Matatizo ya mifupa. Osteoarthritis is one type of the arthritis. The other one is also called rheumatoid arthritis, which is always an autoimmune disease, and this one is a common joint condition that mostly affects the knee or hip or back, and sometimes carrying extra pounds places extra pressure on these joints, and then this one will create what is called wear and tear. Okay, so tissues cushioning the joints that normally protects them. I've already organized about the joint bone and joint care package, so make sure that you follow my tutorials. You'll find it in the YouTube channel. Listen to it about the bones. I've talked about osteoarthritis, I've talked about rheumatoid arthritis, I've talked about gout and any other condition which is related to osteoarthritis. Now, because of the way the knee joint works, the effect of excess weight can be 4 or 5 times greater than the weight of the normal body weight, and that one will propose a very big problem. Now, gout, which is due to excess uric acid in the system. You find that gout is a disease that affects the joints, and it happens when you have too much uric acid in your bloodstream. Okay, I always remind you about 3 causes of diseases. Number one is excess. When you talk about excess, we talk about excess cholesterol, excess blood fat, excess uric acid, excess heavy metal, excess old stool. So when somebody is having gout, wale watu wenye wanakuwa na maumivu kwa mguu ama wanafura miguu due to excess uric acid ama purine, then inamaanisha wako na kitu inaitwa excess uric acid. So the extra uric acid can form what is called the crystals, that these crystals will be deposited in the joints. And gout is more common in overweight people. Watu ambao kuna mwili mkubwa ndio wako likely sana kupatwa na gout, because the more you weigh, the more likely you are to get gout. So obesity doubles your risk of developing gout, and it tends to bring on symptoms earlier in life, carrying too much weight, especially around the middle lead, and then this one will lead to what is called insulin. Okay, so resistance. Now, higher levels of insulin circulation through the body inhibit uric acid elimination by kidneys, and gout is not just an arthritis but also a metabolic disease in which the primary metabolic problem is high uric acid. So how to prevent and treat obesity, we need to know before we get to what products can help you in making sure that you take good care of this. Now, I just want to take you through things that you need to know so that you can see on how you can rectify the obesity. So I'll skip the products part first. Okay. Now, how can you treat and prevent obesity? Number one is diet. So take healthy diet with more fresh vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, because this one will avoid frequently the fast food chains. Now, keep junk food out of your houses as well. So make sure ukuwe ni mtu ambaye aukuli tu zile tunaita the junk foods. If you really like stuffs like pizza and burgers, indulge in them not more than once or twice a month. So if you are umezoea sana kukula the fast foods, then hakikisha kwamba uzitumii sana, unatumia kama mara moja au mara mbili kwa mwezi. Then eat slowly and only when you are hungry. So for obese people, make sure that you do not skip any of the 3 meals per day, and rather divide them into smaller meals, okay, stretched over a gap of between 2 to 3 hours. That's what the rich people do, by the way. They eat little but frequently. At the same time, cut off high calorie snacks in between the meals, and make sure that you eat small portions of food, and also do not gulp them down. So do not stuff yourself with food when you are not hungry. So kama hausikii njaa usijilazimishe kukula hata kama imefika wakati wa kula, and eat only when your body signals you to have food. And if possible, you have to eat slowly because the stomach takes some time to feel full. Okay. Then another thing is very important for you to drink plenty of water. Drinking plenty of water is very much important because water will help your body, that is, to detoxify all the impurities present in the system. So doctors recommend you to drink at least 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. So remember, water cleanses and rejuvenates your skin as well. So for people having skin issues, it is important for you to take a lot of water. Taking regular physical exercise is also very important for you, because for the greatest overall health benefits, experts recommend that you do 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic activity 3 or more times a week. So we're now talking about ways on how you can have a good health, okay? So that one can actually help you, okay? Then if well and good, the best thing you can always do on top of what I've told you is to take the Greenwald products, okay? Take the Greenwald slimming products. So what products can help you to slim? As you can see from your slide, we have what is called the slimming capsule. So slimming capsule, we suppress the appetite, promote adipose decompose, remove excess heat and speed up metabolism. So watu ambao wanataka kuslim kwa sababu wanafanya exercise. We have people who slim so they go to the gym and do a lot of things. Then when from there wakati ile mafuta inapunguzwa kwa mwili, when the fat is being cut in your body, from there you find yourself very hungry and you go overeat. So it is always important for you to have the slimming capsule because it will help you to suppress the appetite, so you just have a little eat. Then number 2 is the Pro Slim Tea. I hope you are noting them down. Pro Slim Tea, also called Slimming Tea. So this one will assist the body in promoting the function of the liver and also gastrointestinal system. So it helps control body weight. So it will help you to have what is called a standard body weight. Number 3 is the Lipid Care Tea. So Lipid Care Tea will regulate the metabolism of blood lipid. It will lower the blood viscosity or blood circulation. It will make your blood to be light. It will improve and prevent the coronary artery disease and also fatty liver. So lipid care tea is also one of the best teas that we have in our institution that helps in eliminating excess fat and also excess cholesterol and making sure that your liver is okay. Blueberry slimming body. Now for this one I won't talk about it because it is not there, okay? So we also have Chitosan capsule, one of the strongest detoxifiers that we have in our company. So this one is considered as a fat magnet. That one will trap the fat magnet and then it is always eliminated as a fecal matter. So whenever you go for a short call, then you find a long call, that is, you find your feces having some kind of fat. Okay, so with its positive charged molecular structure, it will attract and bind negatively charged bile acids and fatty acids, thus reducing their absorption and remove them as a fecal matter. Okay, deep sea fish oil or omega-3. Deep sea fish oil provides a complete range of omega-3 essential fatty acids. So it helps lowers blood lipid, reduces inflammation throughout the body, and also decreases platelet aggregation or blood clotting, and also prevents excessive blood clotting, inhibits thickening of the arteries, so it helps in contraction and relaxation of the blood vessels. That is, it also dilates arteries and prevents coronary artery disease. Kudilate inamaanisha inafungua mishipa kuhakikisha kwamba damu inatembea vizuri, and it is especially effective in improving lipid profile and also alleviate fatty liver. And last but not least, we have the meal cellulose. Meal cellulose is a dietary fiber that improves peristalsis, and it reduces the sugars and fats permeating from the intestinal wall into the blood circulation. So these are 7 products that we can use for people who are having people want to slim. So you can note them down. We have the slimming capsule that will suppress the appetite. We have the Pro Slim tea that will help in controlling body weight and also function of the liver. We have the lipid care tea that will help in the blood viscosity and also the arteries. We have the blueberry slimming body. So for that one, we'll replace it with another one called Clear. Then Chitosan that helps as a fat magnet and eliminate them as a fecal matter. Inamaanisha hiyo mafuta ikisha kusanyika kwa mwili inatolewa kama choo. Then we have deep sea fish oil, that helps in the lowering of blood lipid and also anti-inflammation, and also the meal cellulose. Okay, meal cellulose that helps. Also other products like lecithin is also very important to use because lecithin inakaa kama mwavuli. Unaona, umbrella is made up of certain kind of a material that when it rains, water cannot penetrate. So after you have slimmed and your body is now back to normal, and because you are still going on with your current or the normal lifestyle, it is always important for you to take what is called the lecithin, okay? Because this one acts as an umbrella. It will prevent further attachment of fat within your blood or within the walls of the artery, and that one will make your body to operate normally and also operate well. Okay, now tips that can help you to slim down. Trying intermittent fasting. So several research backed strategies that can aid in weight loss, and one of which is intermittent fasting, also called IF. And through this, we are going to see the alternate day fasting, ADF, the 5-2 diet, and also 16-18 method. So when you stick to these 3 methods, then you are going to make it okay. So intermittent fasting or IF is a pattern of eating that involves regular short-term fast and consuming meals within a shorter time period during the day. So several studies also have indicated that short-term intermittent fasting, which is up to 24 weeks in duration. So when you try this within 24 weeks or around 21 days, that is, 24 weeks, then it will lead to what is called weight loss in overwhelming individuals. So the most common intermittent fasting methods include the following, kama hizo vile unaona: alternate day fasting, ADF, the 5 to 2 diet, and the 16 hash method, that is 16-8 hash method. 16 plus 8 is 24. So we are going to see each and everyone. Now let me start with the alternate day fasting, ADF. Make some notes, very short and clear. What does it mean? Now, the alternate day fasting, or ADF, is a very simple thing, because when you fast every other day and eat normally on non-fasting days, the modified version involves eating just 25 to 30% of the body's energy needs on fasting days. So that means you alternate, meaning unakula leo, kesho una fast, unakula siku nyingine una fast, unaenda hivyo 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 for a period of 24 weeks. You eat today, you fast tomorrow, you eat the other day, you fast tomorrow for a period of 24 weeks. 24 weeks, not days. 24 weeks is around, 1 week has is around 6 months, if I'm not wrong, because 1 month has 4 weeks. 1 month has for around 6 months. Yeah, 6 months ukiwa tu na ratiba ya kukula leo, kesho ukuli, unakula siku nyingine ukuli. Now let's get to the second one. It's called the 5 to 2 diet. 5 to 2 diet. This one, the 5 to 2 diet. So 5 to 2 diet is very simple. That is, you fast on 2 out of every 7 days. You fast on 2 out of every 7 days. So on fasting days, you only eat 500 to 600 calories. Unakula kidogo sana. So kama uwezani na ile ya kwanza ya kukula leo kesho ukuli, kukula ile siku nyingine for the other thing, then una make sure kwamba una fast for 2 days. Siku mbili haukuli, siku tano unakula. Na zile siku tano haukuli vyakula vya mafuta for the next 24 days. Hiyo ndio tunamaanisha the 5 to 2 diet day, okay? Then the last one is called the 16-8 method. Now, what do we mean by 16-8 method? So 16-8 method, fast meaning you fast for 16 hours in a day. We are talking now in a day, because a day has 24 hours. That's why I said 16 plus 8 is 24. So you fast for 16 hours and eat only during the 8-hour window. So unakula kwa zile 8-hour window. So for most people, the 8-hour window will be around noon to 8 p.m. So we chakula yako make sure unakula mara moja kuanzia saa sita mpaka saa mbili usiku. You only have one meal. So a study on this method found that eating during a restricted period result in participants consuming fewer calories and also losing weight. So it is best to adopt a healthy eating pattern on non-fasting days and to avoid overeating. So out of these three, you will choose which one is best for you. You will choose. So in summary, alternative day eating, meaning you eat today, tomorrow you don't eat. You eat today, tomorrow you don't eat. You meet the following day, the other day you don't eat. Or you eat for 2 hours, that is the 5 to 2 days. You eat for 2 days in a week. You eat for 5 days in a week, and then you fast for 2 days. Eat for 5 days in a week, and then you fast for 2 days for the next 24 days, for 24 weeks or 6 months. Or you make sure that every day for the next 24 weeks, you only eat from noon to 8 p.m. Only one meal. From noon to 8 p.m. Only one meal. So by doing so, you will find that everything will be making sure that your body operates normally. Now, tips that can also help you to slim down, section 2 is having a healthy eating habit. So eating mindfully is very important, because mindful eating is a practice where people pay attention to how and where they eat food. So this practice can enable people to enjoy the food they eat and maintain what is called a healthy body weight, okay? So as most people lead busy lives, they often tend to eat quickly, on the run, in the car, working at their desk and watching TV. As a result, you find that many people are barely aware of the food they are eating. So because you are always in a rush, and this one is something that is affecting so many people. So we are going to see around few things that are going to guide us, especially for people who are obese, to make sure that you eat properly. So number one in outline is sit down to eat perfectly at a timetable. Then avoid distractions while eating. Eat slowly. Make considered food choices. Eat protein for breakfast. Then cut back on sugar and refined carbs. So I want to explain each and every one in short so that we can also note what this. Now the first one is about sit down to eat, preferably at a table. So it is always very dangerous to eat while you are standing, by the way. It is important for you to sit down, especially on a table, and have your meal. So pay attention to the food and enjoy the experience. So when you are eating, when you are seated, it is always it will psychologically prepare your mind to pay attention to whatever you are eating, and that one will make your body to operate normally. Avoid distractions while eating, because this one is very dangerous, especially for those people who eat and they are watching TV, or maybe they are eating and maybe they are in their phones, or maybe they are eating and they are watching something in a laptop. So that one is very dangerous. Okay, so make sure that's why you find that if you go to some kind of mansions, you find that there is always a dining table, which is or a dining table which is somehow far from the sitting room, where there is no TV and people sit as a family, and that time is just about eating and eating alone. No watching TV, no touching phones, no having laptops, or no disruptions. So that one is very dangerous, especially for people who are obese. Okay. Number three is eat slowly. Make sure that you take your time in eating. Taking time to chew and savor the food is very important, because these techniques will help with weight loss, and because it will give a person's brain enough time to recognize the signals that they are full, which can help you to prevent what is called overeating. So when you are eating food, you are slowly and you are chewing your food very well. This one will actually prepares your mind. It's about the brain. Okay, 6 crucial important body organs: heart, brain, liver, kidney, lungs, and the pancreas. Very important. Then make considered food choices. Okay. So making considered food choices is very important, because choosing the foods that are full of nourishing nutrients and those that will satisfy for hours rather than for minutes. About eating, making considered food choices, it is always important to have a heavy breakfast, heavy meal in the morning. Then during the evening, you just have what is called a light food. Okay, so and make sure that you eat foods that have nutrients. And that's why I said, for us to have good health, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have good health. Then eating protein for breakfast. Eating protein for breakfast. I've just mentioned about this. Having a heavy breakfast is very much important, because protein can regulate appetite hormones to help people feel full, and this mostly due to a decrease in the hunger hormone ghrelin, and a rise in the satiety hormones peptide YY. Okay, so also called the GLP-1, and also the cholecytokinin. So research on young adults has also demonstrated that the hormonal effects of eating a high protein breakfast can last for several hours. So having heavy breakfast is very, very important. So good choices for a high protein breakfast, including having things like eggs, oats, nuts, and seed butters is very important. Sardines and also seed pudding, also very important. Number four is cut back on sugar and refined carbs. Excess glucose enters the blood and provokes the hormone insulin, which promotes fat storage in the adipose tissue. So this contributes to weight gain where possible. So people should swap processed and sugar foods for more healthful options. So good food swaps include, so the kind of foods that you need to eat, like whole grains like rice, bread, and pasta instead of white versions, fruits, nuts, and seeds instead of high sugar snacks, then herbal teas and fruit infused water instead of high sugar sodas, sometimes smoothies with water or milk instead of fruit juice. So those are things that you need to know for you to make sure that your body is operating normally. Part 3, tips that will help you slim down, balancing gut bacteria. Okay, so one emerging area of research is focusing on the role of bacteria in the gut on weight management. So the human gut hosts a vast number of variety of microorganisms, including around 37 trillion bacteria. So every individual has individual varieties and amounts of bacteria in their gut. So some types can increase the amount of energy that the person harvests from food, leading to fat deposition and also weight gain. Okay, so making sure that you get eat a variety of fruits and veggies is very important. Eat fermented foods and also eat probiotic food. So there is a juice or a yogurt that is written probiotic. It is also good for balancing gut bacteria. Okay, if you go to if you go to a supermarket and you find the sweetened yogurt and also unsweetened or the natural one, so the natural one is good for your stomach. The sweetened one is not good for your stomach. I thought you didn't know. Now you know. Okay, now you know. Okay, now getting good night sleep is very important. So tips that will help you to slim down, section 4. So get a good night sleep. So numerous studies have shown that getting less than 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night is associated with increased incidence of obesity. So there are several reasons behind this, and that's why I was saying for you to have good health, good exercise, balanced diet, adequate sleep, and positive thinking, very important. You see, or you find that's why you find that all my trainings will always circumnavigate in that segment. So poor sleep slows down metabolism. Poor sleep is related to leptin reduction and also ghrelin increase. Poor sleep can increase the production of insulin and cortisol, which also prompt fat storage. And poor sleep affects what is called proper function of insulin. So it is important for you to have what is called proper sleep. So stay sleep deprived, your body ability to properly use insulin, so the master storage hormone, okay, so becomes completely disrupted. In fact, the University of Chicago researchers found that insulin sensitivity dropped by more than 30%. Okay, so you also need to make sure that you know that. So part 5 is manage your stress level. Make sure that you manage your stress level. Having exercise is very important because stress triggers the release of hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol, and also long term of cortisol remaining rimming in the bloodstream increases what is called the appetite. So outdoor activities can help with stress management. Having exercise, okay, is very important because stress triggers the release of hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. And I've told you this one will initially decrease the appetite as part of the body's fight or fright or flight response. However, when people are under constant stress, then cortisol can remain in the bloodstream for longer. And this one will increase their appetite and potentially lead to them eating more. Okay, so managing your stress is very important. So cortisol signals the need to replenish the body's nutritional stores from the preferred source of fuel, which is carbohydrate, also known as energy-giving foods. And you find that insulin then can transport the sugar from carbohydrates from the blood to the muscles and brain. And if this one happens, individual does not use this sugar in fight or flight, the body will store it as a fat. So researchers also found that implementing an 8-week stress management intervention program resulted in significant reduction in the body mass index of overweight and obese children and also adolescents. So some methods of managing stress include the yoga. Making sure that you're having proper exercise is very much important. Breathing and relaxation techniques. So taking some time to meditate and breathing. That's why we take our children to pee, and when the pee is over, we always tell them to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Then, hurrah, they go back to class when their mind is actually refreshed. Okay. Spending some time outdoors, for example, walking or gardening, and especially people at the coast are always having a chance of getting time to make sure that they are taking everything to the best. So reducing the risk factors, benefits of slimming down. So what are the benefits of slimming down so that you can have a healthy BMI? Number one, you are reducing the risk of heart diseases. So you see heart is connected there. Number two, you are reducing the risk of stroke. Brain is connected there. You are reducing the risk of developing some forms of cancer, very dangerous. You are controlling non-insulin dependent diabetes. Pancreas is there. Relieving back and joint tension. Relieving kidney is also connected there. Increasing energy levels, so your body gets the required energy. Then you are optimizing the immune system. You're also reducing the risk of osteoporosis because of the pressure that will be exerted in your knee. Then you're also reducing infertility risk. So obesity is also connected to fertility. So we also get patients who are having fertility issues, and you do diagnosis, everything is okay, but you wonder why you are not getting pregnant because of that condition. Okay. And we also have reducing the risk of anemia. Or because of iron deficiency, then you'll be having more self-esteem and increasing energy and welfare levels. So once you do this, then you find that your body will be having a better BMI, and everything will be getting back to its normal. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end it there. Let me know what you think about this video, because with Greenwald Slimming Care Package, we need to shape you up. It will shape you up so that you become what you are desired to be. Okay. Otherwise, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment at the end of this video, and let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, see you in my next video. Bye bye.